here, 2v2 faction battle tournament. This is round 1, game 1, and Golgotha Depths. Blue team, we have Chaos, we have Mikhail as a Plague Champion, starts off range combat with this damage over time bolter, can get melee weapons, good versatility, but very slow, can also build turrets and repair. Alongside, Alpha Omega is a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and destructive commander that fights in melee combat by default, has a bunch of spells, and can consume allied models to regain energy and a little bit of health. Red team, we have Tyranids, it's Floyd as a Hive Tyrant, very durable commander that walks through cover and cannot be suppressed, good offense and support, starts off in melee combat. And alongside, XPhial is a Lictor Alpha melee specialist that can infiltrate and disrupt, really good offense as well, and a little bit of support. 495, 500 early on, a single for the Tyranids, they got there early, so get a slight VP lead. North side looks like XPhial versus the Plague Champion, who gets flesh hooked immediately of Mikhail, I should say. And a big messy engagement, Heretics running in, doom blasting and retreating. Nicely judged by Mikhail actually. Just leave those Heretics in there for a couple more seconds, would have lost them. Here comes Spore Mines though, they are so dangerous. The Heretics taking half of their hit points away. And they have to get the hell out of there. I tell you, first engagement versus a good Lictor Alpha with Spore Mines as Chaos is so painful, especially with double Heretics as Mikhail had there. 471, 500. Center cap is red, and we have more Spore Mines this time up for Floyd. Chaos Sorcerer backing off, taking some damage from those Termagants. Chaos Space Marines though pouring in some bolter fire to that Hive Tyrant, a bit hesitant to get into the garrison I think because of those Spore Mines, which are a anti-garrison unit. Heretics running away because Spore Mines coming in fact double Spore Mines coming in there. Good Spore Mine usage early on, perhaps a slightly underused unit for Tyranids. Starting to see him a bit more with the towers now that can produce them. North tower contested is uncapped, there's the aspiring champion of the Heretics getting flesh hooked by the Lictor Alpha. That thing has a 60-second cooldown now, recently reduced from 70 seconds. Looks like these players had to deal with a fair amount of lag, but because this is a replay, you guys do not experience that. You just get all the annoying lag messages. Hormagaunts pushed forward by Floyd to decap and now attempt to cap this wreck point. Really good pressure early on by the Tyranids. Mikhail unable to get a foothold in the north, scared off by Spore Mines and this Lictor Alpha's flesh hook each time. Floyd still has some, as does XPhial. XPhial still has 4 of them. Is this the second squad? 400, 500 it might be. There's the 2-1 for the Tyranids. Floyd going for a Warrior Brood. He does have Toxin Sacks up on a single Termagant Brood. Spore Mines in retreat path but unable to detonate. They just exploded there, attacked by the Heretics. Chaos Space Marines get away without a loss. Alpha Omega now forcing off those Hormagaunts down to 5 models. Now needs to deal with these double Termagants though, and Spore Mines are still lingering around, so these Heretics are still in threat. And here comes XPhial with support. Plague Champion now capping up the north side. Alpha Omega needs to be careful here. Whenever you're doubled, you need to obviously put great emphasis on preserving your squads. Hold up the 2 armies as long as you can, but do not overcommit. And pretty much did as much as he could there up against Spore Mines and a bunch of Termagants and Hormagaunts. XPhial's Hormagaunts trying to cap. They do decap. 364, 500. It's a double cap for the Tyranids, and they've completely built up essential power. This map, you have a single natural power each, and look at this, the Plague Champion with the Spiral Spewer going after the natural power of the Tyranids. An awesome anti-structure weapon. This thing has a natural debuff of 20%, as you can see there. Speed and damage debuff. It is short range, which is problematic for a very slow commander, but what do you expect from a flamer type weapon? He's in retreat there. Took down 1 generator. As I was saying, you get 1 natural power each on this map, and then the 3 other power points are very much contested. Looks like Chaos have the north and south, but do not have a node. I speak too soon, they do have a node on the south. 343, 491. Chaos Space Marine is capping mid. There's the 2-1 for Chaos. Can they mount some kind of comeback here? consolidate their position. The Heretics get crippling poison though. There's a Doom Box going in from the Chaos Sorcerer from long range. You can fire that thing in from way back. Hive Tyrant here. He's got no war gear. Warrior Brood is up. These guys are heavy infantry that leap into combat passively. As you see, they're knocking down the Chaos Sorcerer. Really do give you some really good disruption in tier 1. 343, 476. Here comes Zimran with the assist, and XPhial responds in kind, forcing off these Heretics. There's the 1-to-1 cap. Good engagement in mid. Mikhail, not Zimran, takes down the Lictor Alpha. 1-to-1 cap. Heretics do get away, and Mikhail now has Chaos Havocs up. Setup team that's suppressed with a heavy bolt up. Tyrant Guard on the way for XPhial. Those guys are already in tier 2 with the huge power advantage they had from 2 full gen farms. Floyd pushing against the natural. In fact, is going to cap it with the Hive Tyrant and get a double CSM. These are Mikhail's, a reasonably heavy tier 2 from him. Double CSM, double Heretics, and Havocs, as well as a Bile Spewer up for his Plague Champion. Needs to retake this wreck point. There's the double for the Tyranids. Going to be a 2-to-1 it looks like. Might even be a 2-to-1 for Chaos if they're lucky. Havocs turn to suppress those Hormagaunts who run away. This is a Spore Mine drop, I believe, by XPhial. Yes. 304, 476. Global ability of the Lictor Alpha. CSM are going to eat a detonation, suppression, and damage, but they will be whacked out. Somewhat a waste, I think, by XPhial. Not sure how much that global actually costs. Double terminants both with Toxin Sacks. And Alpha Omega does go tier 2. Mikhail still needs 5 power to do so. It's 300, 125 to go tier 2 for any new players who don't know. Tyrant Guard is up for XPhial. Really awesome, super heavy infantry model. Acts as a vehicle in that it can be stunned and things and can't be suppressed. Really awesome DPS this thing does. Can also disrupt with a charge and self-heal with shield wall, but does need synapse to be really effective since it gets a speed buff. I'm surprised we haven't seen any early towers up in tier 2 from the Tyranids. XPhial himself doesn't have any synapse, so he's going to need to rely on Floyd's Hive Tyrant, Warrior Brood, and Zone Throat for synapse for his Tyrant Guard. Zone Throat making its way mid, and Chaos are holding a 2-to-1 for now. 304, 442. Mikhail does go tier 2. Alpha Omega with Bloodletters on the way. Reasonably decent choice versus Tyranids usually, actually. If you can support them, of course. Zone Throat getting shots in on those Chaos Space Marines from range, and it's all going to kick off in the mid. Tyrant Guard charging in and going after Chaos Space Marines. He's out of synapse range though, so is very, very slow. Now is in his passive melee charge there. Now in synapse range of the Hive Tyrant, but leaves the synapse range. The Warrior Brood of Floyd have melee synapse, and a great thing about Tyranids is that you can use your allies' synapse. So the Hormagaunts of XPhial, for example, will get their melee synapse if they are near Floyd's warriors. These Heretics trying to take on way too much and are gonna wipe. Looks like Mikhail has forgotten about these guys, and down they goes. Retreats them way too late. 304, 416. Zone Throat caps. Artillery unit for Tyranids. Doesn't need to set up and doesn't do friendly fire. Not quite the range and damage of other artillery units, but still incredibly useful. Brood Nest is up in mid. This is the global ability of the Hive Tyrant. Allows nearby allies to reinforce and provides a small amount of health regeneration, and a tower is up as well. This is from XPhial. +1 speed for units not in combat, for Tyranids not in combat I should say. 287, 416 also provides a sight radius buff, and it's only 35 red to get these towers on the field. They can be so strong when you have 2 or 3 Tyranid players using them. Blood Crusher up from Omega. Bloodletters also for Mikhail, so we have 2 Bloodletter squads on the field. These are demons that do power melee damage. Really awesome power melee damage as well, with good melee skill. The Plague Champion is level 2. And here's a tower going up again from XPhial. The Lictor Alpha is infiltrated. Do we have aspiring champion heretics to spot him? They're back at the base. 264 416 is kicking off in the mid. Tyrant Guard in there. Blood Crusher going after it. We have a crushing claw Hive Tyrant, and look at the damage to that Blood Crusher. Ouch. Some Tzeentch worship. Heretics needs to back off though. 256 416. Garrison is taken, which is dangerous. Zone Throat does good damage to garrisons. Bloodletters still charging around though. These guys, these are Alpha Omegas phasing out. Here comes the Plague Champion with the assist. They need to take down this Brood Nest, I think. We have Mark of Pawn, Chaos Space Marines for Mikhail. The other squad without a mark are in the garrison, I believe. Are they? No, they're backing off of the Warrior Brood. It's Alpha Omega's CSM in the garrison. 237 416, a very messy engagement. There's Dark Flames from the Chaos Sorcerer. Spore Mines dealing with the garrison, forcing these guys off and getting a detonation in retreat path on Tyrant Guard. Kicking ass, taking out 2 models. Almost level 3 this thing. Wow. Devastating engagement for the CSM to deal with. Plague Champion hits level 3 but went down. Chaos Sorcerer did get away okay. He's still level 1. Hive Tyrant now level 3. Helping to take down that Blood Crusher. Lictor Alpha is level 1. Has his deadly jump. Such an awesome piece of war gear. 216 416. Tyranids is doing very well. Here comes another Brood Nest and more Bloodletters for Alpha Omega. Looks like Mikhail lost his Havocs as well. Missed that. Aspiring Champion on the way for these Chaos Space Marines, and they're also getting Mark of Tzeentch. 200 416. Hive Tyrant not wasting any time and is capping Blue's natural Hormongaunt, trying to take on the power generator with Adrenal Glands up. Here comes Alpha Omega to defend though. With double Bloodletters, this could be nasty. Set them on the Warrior Brood and the Zone Throat, get some Synapse backlash going on. Hive Tyrant using the invulnerability from Bonded Exoskeleton to just casually walk away and capped the VP. In fact, Tyranids have a triple 157 416. Some Noise Marines for Blast Masters in mid would be useful, I think. Gonna need a varied army to deal with what the Tyranids have, and it's gonna be very difficult, I think. Need to take down the Zone Throat, or at least kill a couple of warriors. XPhial has a Warrior Brood of his own now. 125 416, and the Tyranids go tier 3. There's the Flesh Hook from the Lictor Alpha on the Plague Champion. 119 416. There's a 2-for-1. Heretics in there with Doom Blast. No sign of Touch of Nurgle. In fact, we have some Nurgle worship, bizarrely. That might have been a mistake. But it obviously was a mistake. I mean, it might have not been intended. Noxious Cloud goes off, but those Termagants are reinforcing off the Brood Nest. That's a global ability of the Plague Champion. Hive Tyrant forcing off Bloodletters, takes down one in retreat. Here comes that Tyrant Guard, which has done awesomely well. This thing level 3. Look at this, 3,025 hit points on this thing. There's a Doom Bolts. 98 416. There's the 2-to-1 cap, and Tyranids looking very, very strong. Down goes the Chaos Sorcerer. Both Chaos Commanders down. Mikhail with just Chaos Space Marines, and that looks like that is it.
This is not the victory you promised us.
Some more lag. Hormongaunt's coming mid alongside Warriors. Floyd's Warriors, where are they? They're pushing down the south side, and a Doom of Malantite is on the way for Floyd to rub it in. More Spore Mines up from XPhial. Really nice Spore Mine usage by the Tyranids, I think. He has 2 Spore Mine squads. CSM getting shots in. These guys didn't even level for Alpha Omega. 70 416. Spore Mines getting detonations off. Let the Nurglings feast. We have the Armor of Pestilence on the way for the Plague Champion. Also has the Icon of Nurgle, which can synergize pretty well with the Bile Spewer. Not quite as well as the Plague Fist, but there you go. 58 416. 2-to-1 cap for the Tyranids, and the Hive Tyrant was thinking about trying to decap the VP, but ran into Bloodletters and a bunch of other stuff and backs off. Still the 2-to-1. Blue team not giving up though. Look at this sneaky Plague Champion, gonna get flesh hooked, but does not get knocked back because of Armor of Pestilence. Here comes a Chaos Space Marines with Mark of Khorne and an Aspiring Champion. Looks like they do not have Eternal War though. Lictor Alpha with Corrosive Claws, the Lone Hunter and Deadly Jump, so he's doing a huge amount of DPS with Lone Hunter up, as long as he's not within 30 radius of an allied model. 45-416. It's a 1-to-1 cap. XPhial will retake the VP. Chaos Space Marine is getting caught in retreat and lose a model. There's the 1-to-1. Floyd sitting pretty in mid alongside some of XPhial stuff, and a Doom of Malantai is up. There's the GG. CSM with Mark of Zinch getting shots on the Hive Tyrant. Zone Throat getting shots as well, and there is the concede by the blue team. Floyd and XPhial take the first game, and I'll see you in the next. Thanks for watching, guys.